astral projection, truth, or imagination. In moments when the body lies completely still, yet consciousness suddenly awakens in another space, many people report feeling as though they are floating above their own physical form. They describe seeing the room around them, observing their body from outside of it, and experiencing a profound sense of freedom that defies words. This phenomenon is known as astral projection. At its core, astral projection refers to the experience in which a person's consciousness feels as though it has separated from the physical body, allowing it to move freely through space or travel to other dimensions of reality. Those who undergo it often describe an out-of-body sensation, perceiving the world from a third-person perspective, sometimes encountering non-physical entities or traveling through realms they believe exist beyond the material world. In some cases, this is referred to as an out-of-body experience, OBE. However, the term astral projection typically implies a more intentional process. While OBEs may occur spontaneously during high fevers, accidents, or near-death experiences, astral projection is often the result of deliberate practice, deep meditation, or other methods of inducing altered states of consciousness. Interestingly, this phenomenon is not confined to mystical traditions. It has also been widely documented in the fields of medicine, psychology, and neuroscience, though the explanations vary greatly depending on the discipline. Origins and history of astral projection. The idea of a soul leaving the body is far from new. For thousands of years, ancient civilizations have recorded similar experiences as evidence of a spiritual reality beyond the physical world. Ancient Egypt believed that humans had multiple components of the soul, one of which, the Ba, could leave the body after death or during sleep to travel across other worlds. In Hinduism and classical yoga, the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, contains prana, life energy, and may detach during deep meditative states. Kabbalah, the mystical branch of Judaism, describes levels of the soul, nefesh, ruach, and neshama that interact across different planes of reality. In Tibetan Buddhism, the Bardo Thodo, Tibetan Book of the Dead, discusses journeys of consciousness through various realms after physical death. In Theravada Buddhism, although the notion of an immortal soul is not recognized in the traditional sense, the concept of layered consciousness, vijnana, is acknowledged an energetic continuum that carries karmic imprints from one life to another. This is often seen as compatible with the idea of conscious travel or mental projection. In modern Western culture, astral projection gained significant attention in the 20th century through the works of Robert Monroe, founder of the Monroe Institute, a research center focused on altered states of consciousness. His seminal book, Journeys Out of the Body, sparked global interest and helped popularize astral projection as both a subject of inquiry and a personal practice. Scientific and neurological perspectives. Modern science is generally cautious about metaphysical claims like astral projection. However, researchers in neuroscience, psychology, and physiology have proposed several biological explanations for the phenomenon. One of the most well-known studies comes from Olaf Blanca, a Swiss neuroscientist whose experiments showed that stimulating the temporal-parietal junction, TPJ, the area where the temporal and parietal lobes meet, could induce out-of-body sensations in patients. The TPJ integrates information about the body, spatial awareness, and the sense of self. When this area is disrupted, it may create the illusion of detachment from the body. Moreover, astral projection often occurs during altered states of consciousness, such as the hypnagogic state, the transitional phase between wakefulness and sleep, REM sleep, where vivid dreaming occurs, deep meditation or hypnosis, certain neurological or psychological episodes. During these states, the brain tends to produce theta waves, 4 to 8 hertz, associated with deep relaxation, dream activity, and altered perception. These frequencies are often linked with mystical experiences, visions of light, expanded awareness, or sensations of slipping out of the body. However, from a mainstream scientific viewpoint, there remains no objective evidence that any part of a person can physically or energetically leave the body and travel through space. Critics often attribute the experience to mental constructs such as vivid imagination, lucid dreams, hallucinations, or self-induced psychological effects. Yet, the challenge lies in the subjective nature of the experience. Many who report astral projection describe it as more real than reality itself. The sensations, visuals, and insights are so vivid that those who return from these journeys often insist they have touched another layer of existence and come back changed. Evidence and experiences of astral projection. Over the past several decades, thousands of people around the world have shared their experiences of astral projection. Although these accounts came from unrelated individuals, the sensations they described are strikingly similar: feeling weightless, separating from the physical body, floating through walls, encountering bright lights, or entering non-physical realms. Some experiences are simple, like standing next to the bed and watching their own sleeping body, while others are so elaborate that they describe parallel universes with their own energetic laws and systems. One of the most influential figures in this field is Robert Monroe, an American businessman and founder of the Monroe Institute, which specializes in researching altered states of consciousness. Beginning in 1958, Monroe started to experience spontaneous out-of-body episodes. Initially, he thought he was suffering from a psychological issue, but after hundreds of meticulously recorded journal entries, he began to notice a repeating pattern that he was entering another realm using a body distinct from the physical one. His books, Journeys Out of the Body, Far Journeys, and Ultimate Journey, have since become foundational texts for spiritual and consciousness research communities. Similarly, William Buhlman, author of Adventures Beyond the Body, documented years of repeatable astral projection experiences. He developed techniques for intentional practice and has guided many others to replicate these experiences through structured training. Notably, many experiencers come from a wide range of professional backgrounds: doctors, pilots, engineers, artists, and most had no prior interest in mysticism or strong religious beliefs. They simply encountered something and could not deny what they had seen or felt. Cross-cultural similarities. One of the aspects that makes astral projection difficult to dismiss entirely is the remarkable consistency of reports across completely different cultures. Westerners, Asians, Christians, Buddhists, even atheists, many describe the same experiences. A sensation of exiting the body through the forehead or chest. Seeing a silver cord connecting the physical body to the subtle body. The ability to fly or instantly travel to any location. Encounters with beings of light or environments with different vibrational frequencies. Occasionally, visions of symbolic images like gates of light, rainbows, or rippling layers of reality. This striking uniformity raises the question: is there a common denominator within human consciousness, or does a certain level of reality truly exist, one that the mind can access once it is no longer anchored to the body? Many people have shared stories of visiting a friend's house during astral projection, noticing specific objects or details in the room, and later confirming those observations as accurate. While not enough to constitute objective proof, the number of matching cases is far from insignificant. Scientific investigations and challenges. Several researchers have attempted to verify the phenomenon through scientific experimentation. One of the most well-known tests is the hidden target experiment, where researchers place a symbol or object in a high place, like the top of a cabinet or ceiling, where it cannot be seen from the ground. Participants are then asked to astral project and see what the object island. While a few reports have been correct, most results have been inconsistent, leading to ongoing debate between skeptics and believers. At the Monroe Institute, researchers employ hemisync sound technology to synchronize the two hemispheres of the brain, helping participants access expanded states of awareness. Practitioners often report being able to separate from their physical body more easily after several sessions, especially when the audio signals are tuned to theta brainwave frequencies between 4 and 7 Hz, the same frequencies associated with deep dreams and profound meditative states. Some studies conducted by the Institute of Noetic Sciences, IONS, have also explored the interaction between human consciousness and the physical environment. While they have not confirmed that astral projection is objectively real, researchers have acknowledged that something worthy of deeper exploration is occurring. Rebuttals from mainstream science? Of course, not everyone believes in this phenomenon. Many neuroscientists and psychologists still argue that astral projection is merely a form of endogenous hallucination, an internally generated illusion that occurs when the brain's perception of self is disrupted. When the body enters a deep relaxation state and consciousness hovers at the boundary between sleep and wakefulness, the brain can create a kind of 3D simulation of leaving the physical body. Suppressed memories and emotions may surface and combine into vivid imagery. Factors such as oxygen deprivation, panic, psychological trauma, or the use of stimulants can also trigger similar experiences. Skeptics further warn that astral projection experiences may lead to delusions, psychological suggestion, or confusion between imagination and reality, especially if one is not properly guided. However, even critics occasionally admit one thing: some soul travel experiences are too complex, consistent, and psychologically impactful to be dismissed as mere hallucinations. Though still controversial, soul travel is no longer just about telling strange stories. More and more people consider it a genuine inner journey to explore the nature of consciousness, the connection between body, mind, spirit, and the invisible layers of reality that modern science has only begun to scratch the surface of. Soul travel, just a hallucination or a consciousness beyond the body? While astral projection cannot be physically measured or verified by conventional methods, its psychological and spiritual impacts are undeniably real. Many have reported that a single out-of-body experience was enough to completely shift their perception of life, death, and personal meaning. Some say they overcame the fear of death in a strange and profound way, as if they had seen that life does not end at the boundary of the physical body. Others describe a deep sense of healing. Old traumas and emotional wounds seem to dissolve after entering a space of purity, beyond language, filled only with light and presence. What matters is this: soul travel is not just a trip to another realm. It opens a gateway to self-awareness. Those who undergo it often become more peaceful, empathetic, and spiritually attuned. They begin to believe that this physical life is not the whole story, but merely a thin layer of a far greater field of consciousness. The perspective of spiritual science. While modern science remains hesitant to recognize the validity of such phenomena, spiritual science offers deeper and more expansive explanations. According to many ancient esoteric systems, humans are not made of a single physical body but consist of multiple layers of subtle bodies, energy bodies. Among these is the astral body, the emotional and imaginative energy field that can move independently of the physical body under certain conditions. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, introduced the concept of the collective unconscious, a deep layer of the human psyche where universal symbols exist beyond individual experience. Some spiritual researchers propose that astral projection is a way to access this layer, where time and space are fluid, and consciousness meets consciousness. In the revolutionary theory of morphogenetic fields by biologist Rupert Sheldrake, every living being is surrounded by an information field that stores memory and behavioral patterns. Could this serve as the physical foundation for soul travel experiences? In Buddhism, although the term astral projection is not used, there is clear acknowledgement of the subtle consciousness, vijnana, being able to transcend the physical body, especially in the bardo states, intermediate states after death, in deep meditation jhana, or during advanced spiritual practice involving supernatural abilities, iti. Comparison with dreams and deep meditation. Many people confuse soul travel with dreaming, but in reality, they are fundamentally different experiences. Dreams are usually a mix of memories, emotions, and inner symbols, passively occurring during sleep. The dreamer rarely has full control. Deep meditation is a state of conscious observation, training the mind to focus and let go. In contrast, astral projection is a state of awakened consciousness in another space, where the experiencer can navigate, choose destinations, and even interact with other entities. Some researchers describe astral projection as an advanced form of lucid dreaming. However, seasoned practitioners draw a clear distinction. Lucid dreams still occur within the landscape of the mind, while astral projection steps outside that landscape into a more independent reality with its own logic. So, if this phenomenon is real, the next question is, should you try soul travel? The answer doesn't lie in curiosity, but in purpose. If you're just seeking a thrill, astral projection may turn out to be an empty or even dangerous journey if attempted without proper guidance. But if you approach it as a tool for self-understanding, inner healing, or exploring the deeper layers of consciousness, it can be a gateway of immense value. Yet, like any powerful tool, it comes with its risks. Without a solid foundation, some people may fall into paranoia, lose grip on reality, or become overly dependent on external world experiences. Rare but documented cases include energy disturbances, encounters with unfamiliar entities, or difficulty returning to a normal state. That's why, if anyone wishes to explore soul travel, they should cultivate strong psychological grounding, maintain a regular meditation practice, avoid chasing illusions or becoming addicted to non-reality, study through trusted institutions like the Monroe Institute, or learn from reliable spiritual teachers, and always remember, the greatest journey is the one back to yourself. Soul travel, reality, or illusion. Perhaps we may never have a definitive answer, but maybe the real question isn't where you go, it's what you understand about yourself when you come back. If this phenomenon is merely a hallucination, then it is a remarkably intelligent one, capable of healing, inspiring, and expanding consciousness. But if it's real, then the world we're living in is just the outer shell of an infinite layered reality. And in those silent nights, when you close your eyes and feel a subtle vibration at your brow, perhaps your soul is preparing for a journey beyond the boundary of the body. The real question is, are you ready?